Happy New Year's! Welcome to my final video of the year. For all of my supporters out there, I guess you just have to wait until next year to see even more of my content. Sorry, it's just how things work around here. I don't write the rules. In today's video, I'm going to be finishing off my list of top 50 coasters by ranking number 25 through 1. If you haven't seen it yet, be sure to check out part 1 where I talk about numbers 50 through 26. As I stated in my previous video, Katie and I have a fairly limited credit count compared to some other coaster enthusiasts, so we may not have your favorite ride in this list. We are planning on continuing this journey with you guys and appreciate every bit of support you provide. So, without further ado, let's check out our rankings for our top 25 favorite coasters. Number 25, Accelerator at Knott's Berry Farm. This intimate accelerator coaster had some of the most intense acceleration on a coaster I've ever experienced. It goes from 0 to 82 miles per hour in what feels like an instant, and before you know it, you're getting flung out of your seat at the apex of the top hat. While the layout is short, it does a bit more than just going out and back, which makes it slightly more exciting than Top Thrill Dragster. Number 24, King Dakar at Six Flags Great Adventure. While this is the tallest intimate accelerator coaster, the one addition of the airtime hill gives it a slight edge over the previous ranking. That and its speed. Good luck keeping your eyes completely open while you're sitting in the front row. The feeling of pushing through the air at 120 miles per hour is like no other, and is something no coaster enthusiast should skip out on. Number 23, Storm Runner at Hershey Park. And now for our final intimate accelerator coaster, Storm Runner. This coaster ranks over the other accelerators simply because of its layout. For once, it feels like one of these coasters actually has a somewhat complete layout. With 2 inversions, it's certainly the most unique accelerator we've ridden too. Number 22, Banshee at Kings Island. If you ask us on different days, sometimes this can bounce between being our favorite or second favorite invert. This ride has just the right mix of elements and pacing that makes it an excellent ride experience. The only minor issue this coaster has is that some of the trains have a fairly uncomfortable rattle. You always have to hope when riding it that you don't get one of these trains. Number 21, Montu at Busch Gardens Tampa. And now on to our favorite B&M invert. This coaster is a great example of what inverts are designed to do. Provide a ride experience that will rip your socks off. This low-flying coaster dives into multiple pits.
How do we help him?
Gordon, ropes. We can use these for big pits.
And absolutely flies through its course. Really, I think the only thing that could make this better would be some additional theming elements in the ride area. Number 20, Phoenix at Knoebels. I heard you like airtime, so how about we give you airtime while you have some airtime? Phoenix does one of the best jobs out there at giving proper airtime. This is completely helped by the fact that it has buzz bars, meaning you have a potentially 6-inch gap between you and the restraint. What this allows for is completely unrestricted vertical movement. On the second half of this ride, you'll be out of your seat over every hill. Looking at POVs of this ride and looking at it from the outside really don't do it justice. It seems like it should be a fairly tame and boring wooden coaster that just goes in an oval-shaped layout, but it does the exact opposite. Number 19, Magnum XL 200 at Cedar Point. So what do coaster enthusiasts and masochists have in common? They all love Magnum XL 200. If it weren't for the restraints on this ride, you would fly out on the Triangle Hills. Think of the airtime you experience on Phoenix, which is graceful and lifts you out of your seat nicely, then put it in extreme mode.
We ain't giving you none of that weak baby airtime. You're gonna get thrown out of your seat. This ride is extreme.
Seriously, if you get a chance to ride Magnum, make sure to pick the magic seat, Car 1, Row 3. This coaster provides some of the most violent ejector airtime I have ever experienced. Number 18, Superman Ultimate Flight at Six Flags Great Adventure. So, have you ever dreamed about flying like in... These B&M flying coasters are the answer to that dream. Somehow, a Six Flags coaster with a generic Six Flags kind of name got in the top 25, but here we are. B&M flying coasters are some of the most graceful and unique coaster designs I've ever experienced. I think because of the unique sensation these give you, B&M flying coasters are just a step above. Just like the rest of the Superman clones, this one features the signature pretzel loop, which provides for a face meltingly... Is that a word? Meltingly? Well, it is now. This ride gives you a face-meltingly good time. Number 17, Tatsu at Six Flags Magic Mountain. Keeping with a strange theme where similar ride types are grouped together on my lists, we have the next B&M flying coaster, Tatsu. Take the grace of Superman, raise it high above a hill, and give it the largest and most intense inversions ever seen, and you have Tatsu. There is nothing quite like the sheer force you experience at the bottom of its signature 124-foot tall pretzel loop. This is one of the most extreme and re-rideable coasters out there. Number 16, Fahrenheit at Hershey Park. Some people call this a mid-tier coaster, but it's really not. Fahrenheit is in an interesting position in that it is surrounded by some of the best coasters in the country, all at the same park. This Intamin coaster features a multi-looper layout that feels fairly similar to the layouts designed by B&M. Just make sure to get a fast pass if you want to ride this, since the capacity is so low and the line is always long. This ride has good forces and an exciting layout that I almost wish could just be slightly longer. Number 15, Cheetah Hunt at Busch Gardens Tampa. I'm not sure why or even who said it, but apparently Cheetah Hunt is a family coaster? It's certainly not the most extreme coaster out there, but it also doesn't seem like much of a family coaster to me. With its one inversion and multiple launches, it hardly seems like one to me. On the positive, this coaster is a properly long ride. At 4,400 feet of track and lasting almost 2 minutes long, this feels like a complete experience. I'd have to say that one of my favorite parts about this ride is the slalom element over the water. There's something about going back and forth like that that just feels extremely fun to me. Number 14, Copperhead Strike at Carowinds. This is the first Mock Rides multi-looper I have ever experienced, and I enjoyed it a ton. The profiling on the loops and airtime hills did a great job at providing strong hang time and very strong ejector airtime, even with its slow top speed. Copperhead Strike has a layout that looks like pure spaghetti, but manages to provide a top quality experience from beginning to end. I've had the story of this ride explained to me already, but as someone who isn't local, it is a bit tough to pick up on. Number 13, Maverick at Cedar Point. Maverick is the epitome of what you can do with a coaster with high maneuverability. This ride has some of the quickest transitions Katie and I had experienced and does a good job at utilizing all of the speed it gets from its 2 launches. This coaster also is enhanced with a slightly bigger focus on theming elements that are placed somewhat sporadically around the ride area. Being full of near misses and whippy elements, this ride is sure to put a smile on just about anyone. Number 12, Orion at Kings Island. This is the tallest, fastest, and longest steel coaster at Kings Island. Some people may claim that this coaster is so high on this list simply because it's a Giga, which is partially true, but it really is a good ride. I'm a huge fan of not only airtime, but also speed. I personally can't get over the sensation of traveling at 90 miles per hour or more. Just like a lot of the coasters at Kings Island, this one also makes for an amazing night ride. Number 11, Lightning Rod at Dollywood. Hey there, Blues Coasters. Here it is, your GOAT coaster. Sadly, it just barely missed out on being in the top 10, which was a tough decision to make, but there are a ton of really good coasters out there. I'm sure you'll understand. Also, can we press F to pay respects to the launch on this ride? I'm sure the ride experience will still be great, but it is sad to see this element of the ride going away. I am, however, looking forward to the improved reliability of it though. Number 10, Twisted Colossus at Six Flags Magic Mountain. What's it like to ride an RMC twice without having to get off in between? This ride answers that question for you. Unfortunately, I haven't ever gotten a duel on this one, but I've heard that elevates the ride experience a ton. Hopefully soon I'll be able to. This ride features one of my favorite hang time moments ever, the Top Gun stall. This zero-G stall feels like it goes on forever and is just pure bliss. Number 9. Nitro at Six Flags Great Adventure. When I was doing research on Great Adventure, I kept hearing that Nitro was good. I expected to have fun, but I wasn't sure what made people say it was so good. After riding it, I can tell you that they were all right. This is the best B&M Hyper that we have ever ridden. Nitro just gets it right. Number 8. Millennium Force at Cedar Point. It's the one, the only, Millennium Force. Having one of the best theme songs I think I've ever heard, Millennium Force is just classic giga-sized fun. This ride focuses almost entirely on speed. It carries its momentum well throughout the entire course and just doesn't let up until the very end. For how simple the layout is, it feels complete and does a good job at showcasing the ferocity of that never-ending 300-foot drop. Number 7. Skyrush at Hershey Park. I feel like I'm being incredibly generous to this ride. It was good, really good, but also painful. Thigh Crush claimed me as yet another victim. The rumors are true about this ride. It pinches your thighs hard, and I'm not sure what the secret could be to make this ride experience better. It has an elite first drop and elite airtime moments. The only other weakness it has is how quickly it's over. Due to the nature of the restraints, however, it is over at the perfect time. Number 6. El Toro at Six Flags Great Adventure. El Toro is our highest rated wooden coaster. When you're walking up to it, that first drop is imposing. It has an incredibly steep drop, crazy good airtime, and insanely intense positive Gs. It's easy to see that this was an Intamin design coaster.
That's beautiful.
This manufacturer is the master of intensity, and El Toro shows off just what they're capable of. Can you conquer the bull? Number 5. X2 at Six Flags Magic Mountain.
I fear no man, but that thing, it scares me.
No, I ain't talking about that freak, all right? He's not here, is he? How do I get this fucking thing off?
One shudders to imagine what inhuman thoughts lie behind that mask. One dreams of chronic and sustained cruelty.
Number 4. Fury 325 at Carowinds. This is the best Giga coaster in the world. It's also the best front entrance coaster in the world. From the never-ending drop to the non-stop layout this coaster has on offer, there's not much else quite like it. Fury 325 is just pure fun. When talking about the coasters that feel like they're too long or too short, this coaster sits right in the Goldilocks zone. It's just right. Number 3. Iron Gwazi at Busch Gardens Tampa. And now begins the potentially controversial top 3. All of them are RMCs, surprise surprise. Iron Gwazi was good, like really good, but it isn't the best. Check out the review video I did for my full thoughts on this ride. So many of its elements provide for an out-of-this-world experience, but this ride just really could use one more lap around. Iron Gwazi's first drop is one of the best out there, and the rest of its elements do a great job, but it just gets held back a bit by its length. And now for the top 2. Has our favorite still reigned supreme, or has it been dethroned? Well, let's start out. Number 2, Steel Vengeance at Cedar Point. Wait, the king has been dethroned?
Wait.
Yes, I couldn't believe it myself. Steel Vengeance is an amazing coaster built by the minds at RMC. It's long enough, it's got the most airtime out of any ride out there, it's got a great first drop, a seemingly never-ending layout. What's not to like? Really, there isn't much. The only reason this is number 2 is what our top pick has to offer. Number 1, Wildcat's Revenge at Hershey Park. This could be from new coaster bias, as every great ride can be amazing after first riding it, but Wildcat's Revenge left a lasting impression. You see, where Iron Gwazi and Steel Vengeance have the height and speed and are absolute giants, Wildcat's Revenge is a buffet, the whole enchilada, a smorgasbord of elements, a real bag of assorted sweets. Where this ride excels, where Iron Gwazi and Steel Vengeance don't, is that it is trying as hard as it can to throw you out of the train in every direction. This coaster has a great pre-lift section, a great first drop, a great selection of inversions, a great amount of airtime, a great amount of hang time, and a great amount of laterals. This is one of the first RMCs designed entirely by Joe Draves and shows just how good he is at designing coasters. This ride is one of the most aggressive RMCs out there. All you can do is hang on while it tosses you in every direction it can. On our last 2 days at Hershey Park, the ride-ops were hauling for this ride and were sending out trains so fast that as one was going up the lift hill, another train would be passing through the 0G roll right above the lift, providing for amazing near-miss experiences. It really is a tough decision to put this over the 2 North American Hyper Hybrids, but this just does a much better job at providing a varied experience. If this is what new RMCs are going to look like, I can only imagine what's to come. And that concludes part 2 of our top 50 coasters of 2023. If you haven't seen it yet, check out our top 50 coasters video from last year to see how that one compares. We actually ended up riding a ton of new coasters this year, so those have seriously shaken up this list. And with that, there's our last video for 2023. This has been an awesome year full of great memories and surpassing our goals, so I can't wait to see what the future holds. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to leave a like and comment below and hit that bell icon. Special thanks to our Patreon supporters Nathan Martin and Future Collective. $1 a month helps me bring even more content to you guys, and I even have some exclusive content coming, so check it out. Check the description below to find links to the rest of our pages. Thanks for watching the video, and ride on, Coaster Maniacs.